Hey guys, I'm Steve Freeman. Welcome back to another video. Today, we are talking about how to make money with your music in 2018 and beyond. That is coming up next.
Gather up you weary souls, show 'em you ain't dead. Tell 'em no, you ain't coming home. Woo, rise. Woo, rise. Woo.
Hey guys, I'm Steve Freeman. Welcome back to another video. Hope everybody's having a great week. Hey, before we get started, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I love it when you do that. All you have to do is click the subscription button down there, but also make sure that you hit the bell icon next to it so that you're notified every time I upload a new video or go live. That's right, the live streams are here. We're doing them every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central. If you haven't caught one so far, they're in a playlist down below called SF Live. Check them out and make plans, mark your calendars, do all that crazy stuff you got to do to make sure we get it in your schedule that we are live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central. And you can follow me across social media if you'd like. On Twitter, it's at the Steve Freeman. It's the same thing on Instagram, at the Steve Freeman. Okay guys, the first thing I want to talk about today, and the first step in actually making money with your music, and quite honestly the most important step that you can take, is to build and grow an engaged fan base. Not just a fan base, but an engaged fan base. I describe a fan as somebody that actually streams a song, that buys an album, an EP, or a single, or buys a ticket to the concert, buys a ticket to the show, buys a t-shirt. A fan to me is somebody that financially supports the artist so the artist can continue to make content and continue to create. So the key to making money with your music, to me, the number one most important thing you can do is grow not just a fan base, but an engaged fan base. There are several different ways that you can do that, but most important right now seems to be social media. You have to be present on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, anything else that's out there, all these new social media platforms. You've got to learn how to attack those platforms and how to position yourself on those platforms as a viable creator, as a viable artist. Put yourself out there so that you can be discovered and that you can take the content that you're putting so much into creating, that you can put it out there so that you can attract a fan base and then start to even narrow those numbers down further into an engaged fan base. Guys, you've heard me say this a million times. A like on Facebook means nothing. A follow on Instagram means nothing. None of that means anything. What means something is engagement. When the content that you create matched with your personality and who you are as a creator or an artist connects with those fans in a way that they want to engage back with you, when they actually comment, when they do more than just clicking that like button. Because once they click that like button, that goes into a category with a million other things that they like on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. You want to get them engaging with you, because when you can create an engaged fan base, those people actually care. And they become what I call the true definition of a fan, which is somebody that financially supports the artist so that they can continue to create. And it also means that they actually care about what it is that you're doing. They care about the product that you're making as an artist. Along with social media, and even thinking about this in context with social media, I encourage you guys to stop thinking on a worldwide or national level. Why don't you start small? Think of where you are, whether it's in your hometown or wherever you are. Physically take out a map and draw a circle that's 250 miles in circumference around your hometown. Use social media to target that area specifically. It's easier to start small and grow it, guys, than it is to immediately jump into this enormous pool where you've got pop artists, country artists, rock artists, rap artists, R&B artists, and you've got all of these people vying for people's attention all over the world. Think smaller. It's okay to think small as you're getting started. And think of it this way, we're going to grow it. Draw that circle 250 miles in radius around where you live. Use your social media to really reach out to those people. I call it low-hanging fruit, because those are people that you share a lot of things in common with. You share geography in common. You may share churches in common. You share restaurants in common and places that people can identify with. And if you point to those things and you show that you are in that area and you're from that part of the country and you are engaged in the lifestyle and in the life that your potential fans are, that's going to endear them to you. So I say start small. Start with that radius of 250 miles around where you live. Saturate that area. Talk about content in that area. Try to book shows in those areas. Once you feel like you've accomplished that and you're starting to see fans engage with you in that area, then take that circle and expand it another 250 miles. Now you're 500 miles out from where you live. And grow it in circles and grow it in stages as you go along. And then before you know it, then you have reached a larger number of people and you've brought those people in. And I think if you do it properly, I think you'll see these people starting to engage with you and actually become true fans. Because guys, if you cannot grow an engaged fan base, the likelihood of making money with your music is slim to none, and Slim just left town. Also, growing on your social media, you've got to get out and play live. You just have to do it. If you have to start out playing for free to get that exposure, then that's what you've got to do. Look, the music business is no different than any other business on the planet. It's supply and demand. If you start to create an engaged fan base and those fans start to come out to see you perform, that venue and that owner is going to see that more people show up when you're there. That's going to lead to you getting paid. That creates a demand. And that venue owner, that club owner, or that coffee shop owner, they're going to want to supply the demand. Make yourself in demand. Again, just like social media, think regionally. If you're in Dallas, Texas, stop trying to book shows in West Virginia. Look at the area at where you are, draw that 250-mile radius, and try to get in as many places as you can in a local and regional area. Build that engaged fan base on a local and regional basis. Once you do that, then you can expand that circle and go even bigger. But playing live and getting out and actually physically talking to and engaging potential fans is the key difference between having a fan base and having an engaged fan base. All right, guys, part 2 is very important, and you really have to start thinking outside the box to really make money with your music in 2018 and beyond. And I call this outside the box or alternate outlets for making money with your music. What do I mean? Here's what I mean. Guys, too many artists think that we're going to go in the studio, we're going to record this song or this album or this EP. Then the next step is we are going to put it out on Spotify, we're going to put it out on iTunes and all the other digital platforms. We're going to hopefully sell it, and that's how we're going to make money from our music. Guys, maybe 10 years ago, that was a decent plan. Adding some marketing to that could definitely help, but it's just not enough anymore, guys. There's too much. The pool is too full. You can't just record something and put it out on iTunes and expect it to sell. We've talked about growing an engaged fan base, and yes, that's a huge part of it. And if you're gonna sell music, then you're gonna have to have an engaged fan base. But you also have to think outside the box. Now you're sitting there saying, Steve, what do you mean by outside the box? Let's talk about TV and film for a second. Now, I also wanna say, before getting into this, outside the box methods and alternative outlets to selling your music and making money off of your music requires a ton of commitment, and it requires a ton of work. But guys, if you aren't willing to put in the hard work and do what it takes, you're not ever going to be successful. It doesn't have to be music, it can be anything. Success very rarely comes without that very important key component of extremely hard work and sacrifice. TV and film, it's something that I've gotten into over the last several years, writing songs for television shows and movies and Netflix stuff, all that kind of stuff. I consider that an outside the box outlet, and it actually can be really, really profitable. And this takes a lot of work though. You really have to do your research, find out who music supervisors are, find out how to get in contact with them, find out how to approach them properly. You don't just find a music supervisor and start emailing them songs. Send an email firsthand and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm an artist, I'm an independent artist. I have a particular style that I think fits this show or this movie that you're working on, and I'd love the opportunity to maybe just send you 1 or 2 songs to see if you think that maybe what I have might fit your show. It's totally appropriate to do that. And you're gonna hear a lot of no's, you're gonna get a lot of non-responses. And I know that's frustrating, guys, but you have to persevere. You have to keep going. You have to keep doing these things over and over and over again. I tell new artists and songwriters all the time, the key to success in the music business is consistency. It is continuing to move forward when you feel like you're seeing absolutely no results whatsoever. You have to sacrifice, you have to put in the hard work, and you have to be consistent at it. It's seriously, I told somebody the other day that being in the music business is a lot like waking up every morning and paying somebody to come in and kick you square between the legs, because everything after that is downhill. That's what it's like, guys. You have to be willing to get up every single day, be consistent, and put in the work. And on the TV and film front, guys, it can be extremely lucrative. You can make more having a song in a television show or in a film than you can make having a song in the top 20 on the Billboard charts. I'm living proof of that. Yes, it is possible. I know professional songwriters that I write with all the time who have actually stopped writing for artists and stopped trying to get cuts on major artists and are focusing 100% of their time, effort, ability, passion, and talent towards, it's called sync, for TV and film, writing music and getting it placed in television shows and films. That's just one outside outlet or outside the box alternative outlet that you can look at to make money from your music. Research music supervisors, research production companies, and once you start to find out all that information, put it in a spreadsheet. Keep these people's contact information. I will say this, there are a lot of services out there. And those of you that know me well know I don't buy into these services like Taxi and some of these other things where they charge a fee and they pitch your music for placement in TV and film. Has that worked for some people? It's probably worked for less than 2% of the people that pay services like that. So I'm not a big believer on that. Those of you that have watched my channel for a long time, you know that I have a saying, if it is to be, it's up to me. I don't believe in just paying somebody else to go accomplish something for you. Build those contacts for yourself. Build that relationship for yourself so that you're the one that can contact these music supervisors. And you are the actual one that's responsible for that success and for that effort and for that consistency. Another way, another outside the box or alternative way is YouTube. Look at what some of these people, and I know it's hard. I know it's hard. As I said that, I could feel eyes rolling. Guys, I know it's hard, but everything in life is hard. And if you're not willing to confront the mountain in front of you and climb it willingly, then you have already failed. And you're not going to succeed, and you're not going to make money from your music or with your music. Think about YouTube. There have been so many artists that have been launched off of social media platforms alone. Look at Boyce Avenue. Those guys started doing covers on YouTube and started getting millions and millions and millions of views, which turned into YouTube revenue, which then also turned into popularity, and they turned that popularity into live shows, and now they're touring all over the world, but it all started on YouTube. You can say the same thing about Vine. You can say the same thing about Twitter. You can say the same thing about Instagram. Everything going back to social media is very important in building a profile for yourself and building an engaged fan base. But when you're talking about an alternative method to make money from your music, you have these platforms, guys. You have them right there at your fingertips. Learn how to manipulate them. Learn how to use them. Learn how to use them so that when you want to put content out, that content is reaching the people that you really want to reach. Because being able to grow a fan base from social media is everything. And as you build that and you grow that engaged fan base, that turns into dollars. So don't for a second discount platforms like YouTube. If you want to create a song, be creative with the music video and put it up on YouTube and start drawing attention to it. Guys, that can lead to live performances, that can lead to actual revenue and streaming revenue and YouTube view revenue. It can lead to ad sponsorships. It can lead to all sorts of things. That's what I'm saying. You guys, you have to get out of this traditional music business method and structure of recording a song and expecting people to stream it. You know you're not going to make any money off of streams, or sell it on iTunes or one of the other digital platforms. You have to get out of that mindset. You have to think outside the box. So if you're outside the box already, look at these other avenues. Look at these other opportunities. Be creative. At the heart of what you're doing, if you are creative enough with the music and you're making the music great, and you're really good at what you do, apply that same creativity to the marketing strategy behind getting your music out there by taking advantage of the platforms like YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. There is a girl in Nashville right now that I'm gonna have to reach out to because I want her on a vlog. She has never had a spin on radio. She plays out, and she's starting to play out a lot more now, but she has gone completely outside the box and built her career on Facebook Live. She has literally gone from not making any money off of her music or shows to starting her Facebook Live 2 years ago and building up to a point now where she makes a six-figure income just off of her Facebook Live. She has merch, she has a tip jar, she has all these other things that engage her fan base that they in return engage back, and they support her financially for doing what she's doing. She doesn't do modern country music, she does real music, she's a great singer, but she took her product directly to the fan base, guys. And that is so important. There's no reason in the world why you can't do the same thing. So I highly encourage you, think outside the box. Think about alternative methods of making money with your music, whether it be through sync and television and film, or it be being creative on social media outlets and really getting it out there, really putting yourself out there. And I promise you that if you are as creative as you feel that you are, I'm telling you right now, there is a fan base out there for you, and there is an engaged fan base out there for you, but you have to go find them. The third way that I want to talk about is very hard for some people to hear, and that is how to learn to build your career and make money from your music by basically giving it away. And it almost sounds like that's in direct contradiction, but I'm telling you, a lot of the major labels, a lot of the independent labels, and a lot of very successful independent artists have figured out that the best way and fastest way to grow an engaged fan base is by actually giving the music away and not assigning a particular dollar amount to the music, but more looking at it and thinking of it that the music itself is just an advertisement for the bigger brand. You've heard me say in other videos, that's step one when you are an independent artist or an artist that's wanting to be successful in music, is considering yourself a brand. And that music is just one of the products of that brand. If you do that successfully, like some of the labels and some of the indie artists are doing, you can find that and realize that you're not always going to make a great deal of money from album sales and record sales and single sales, and you're certainly not going to make it from streams, but it comes from live performances and merch, right? T-shirts, bumper stickers, cups, hats, all that stuff. When you build an engaged fan base, you're going to realize that you have a huge base that you can tap into that want to see you live. You're going to make money from live performances. You're going to make more money selling your music hand to hand than you ever will on iTunes or streaming or Google Play or Amazon MP3 or any of the other digital sales outlets. You will make far more money with an engaged fan base selling that music hand to hand. And while you've got them at the merch table, you've got t-shirts, you've got bumper stickers and cups and hats and all these other things that go along with it. So I encourage you to think of your music as a loss leader. And if you don't know what a loss leader is, think of it this way. You've been watching TV before and there's always a gimmick to get you in the store. Black Friday is the best example, okay? They will advertise they've got this 57-inch flat screen 4K TV and they're gonna sell it for $399. It's normally $1,200. That is to get you in the store. They may have 3 of those TVs and 500 people are gonna line up outside the store, but they only have 3 of them. That's called a loss leader. It is to get you in the door so that that store can show you the plethora of other products that they have. Think of your career that way. What's it going to take to get that potential fan, that potential engaged fan through your door? Think of yourself as a store, because a brand is a store and a store is a brand. What are you doing? What are you going to do? What have you planned to do to get people through your doors? Once you get people through your door, then you can show them everything you've got, all of your products, your music, your merch, your live shows, building up things like house concerts. I have another friend that he makes an amazing living off of his music by doing nothing more than house concerts. He does 3 tours a year. On each one of these, he'll do like 9 or 10 house concerts, and he's built his brand up with that. He sells CDs. He gets paid to go and perform. Guys, that's what I'm talking about. Look at the 3 areas. Build an engaged fan base. Look at alternative and outside the box methods to make money with your music. And then think of yourself as a brand. How do you get people into and through your doors, so that when they get there, there's interesting things that they find. And they find you interesting through the products. And then they become an engaged fan. And guys, if you can build an engaged fan base, whether it's through outside the box and alternative methods, or it's through social media, or it's through TV and film, whether it's through any of these things, guys, you have to have an engaged fan base. They are the difference in your success or failure. So just to recap, let's go over the 3 most important things that you need to be thinking about to make money with your music in 2018 and beyond. Guys, number 1, you have to have an engaged fan base. Start working on that today. Start becoming efficient with all of the social media platforms. Understand their algorithms and know how to get your content in front of the people that you feel like will engage it the most. Number 2, look at outside the box and alternative methods to getting your product out there, whether it be TV and film. Start contacting music supervisors. All you have to do is look them up. All you have to do is watch TV shows. The name of every music supervisor is listed on every show. Look at music libraries. There are companies out there that do nothing but license music. Why couldn't they license yours? Reach out to these people. Look for outside the box and alternative methods. Last but certainly not least, guys, you as the artist and as the creator, you are the brand. There can be a lot of different products that spin off from this brand, whether it's music, whether it's merchandise, live shows, house concerts, all these other things that your brand can offer an engaged fan. Guys, think about these 3 things seriously. If you really want to make money with your music in 2018 and beyond, it is up to you. It's up to you to do the heavy lifting. It's up to you to sacrifice. And it's up to you to be consistent to find that engaged fan base. Guys, thanks so much for sitting down, checking out another video. If you got something out of it, smash that like button. Just hit it 1 time. If you didn't like the video, you can hit the thumbs down button. Just make sure that you hit it twice. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. All you have to do is click the subscription button down below, but make sure you hit the bell icon next to it so that you're notified every time I upload new content and when we go live, which is now every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central. Guys, I hope you have a great rest of the week, and don't forget, keep being creative, keep pressing the boundaries, and there's nothing wrong with being independent. See you next time.